Hi, Team Persevere. Today we are going to spend our time having a review because we have successfully finished our unit on nonfiction. So it's important right now to celebrate our learning. So many great new pieces of learning have happened, and we want to take time to acknowledge those and the growth that we've made. So, to start out, I would like you to share out something you learned during our nonfiction unit. Type your idea to me privately in the chat, please. So, think about the different lessons, think about the strategies that we learned, think about your work with in your small groups. What did you learn during this nonfiction unit? A lot of research was done, so think about some of those ideas as well. Pause the video. In this unit, we accomplished so much. You worked really hard to identify complex texts that can be really tricky. You learned strategies to read those complex texts. We worked on summarizing text. We were working on comparing and contrasting two texts together. And really importantly, you strengthened your research skills as you learned about your chosen animals for your exhibit projects. It has been a little while since we've seen this anchor chart. We were referring to this chart every single day when for the first half of our unit. And ways complex nonfiction gets hard. Sometimes the headings and subheadings don't help or are misleading. There could be several main ideas. Those main ideas could be implicit, which means they could be hidden. The author is not going to come out and tell you what the main idea is. The vocabulary is hard and technical. There are many complex or hybrid structures, and sentences are longer and may deliver more information. We are going to work on summarizing complex text today. That's the one strategy we will focus on reviewing. And this focuses on finding that main idea of the text that we read. So when we read a complex text, it can sometimes be tricky to find that main idea. As the text gets harder, it can become difficult to figure out the main idea. So we can use these strategies to help us summarize the text. We can read all of the headings and think about what clues they give about the topic. We can look at all the pictures and captions for clues. We can look at text features. And we can summarize the text often by talking or jotting. And importantly, read slowly. We are going to continue practicing these skills today. And I have a very exciting nonfiction passage to share with you today. And it is on a topic that I love. It's on a topic that many of you love. Give me your best guess. What do you think we're going to be reading today? Put it into the chat and pause the video. Well, the topic we will be reading today is a passage on Baby Yoda. Oh, we love Baby Yoda. And in this passage, I'm going to go to it now. It is from Newsella, which is a website that some of you have used in small groups. And these are all news articles that have been taken, that were real news articles, and they've been taken and put into kid friendly terms. So, this was actually a news article that was in the Washington Post, so a really famous newspaper. And the title is Baby Yoda Toys Are Finally Arriving. And just like I'm going to get back to our strategies here. Oops, oh no, what's going on here? So just like our strategies say here, we're going to read those headings, look at pictures and captions, text features, think aloud as we're reading, and reread slowly and read slowly. So we'll start by previewing this passage. So we read the title and we see a picture here. The caption, The Mandalorian merchandise, whose release was delayed to avoid spoilers, makes its debut before Toy Fair New York. Baby Yoda Toys is a heading. Famous scene with another picture. Keeping the character a secret. Those were some of the headings and pictures here. So just from previewing this text, what is your best guess as to what this is going to be about? And think deeper than just Baby Yoda. That's the topic. Think deeper. What do you think the main idea could possibly be about in this passage? Pause the video to discuss. Now we are going to move into reading this passage to really see if our idea, what do we think the main idea is, if that stands true. This past holiday season, oh, and actually before I continue reading, this article was um, was published on March 25th of 2020. So think of this was published last March. So think of that as we read this information. This past holiday season, many people wanted Baby Yoda toys as gifts. There were none available, though. Star Wars fans have been waiting. The wait will be over this spring. Disney and Lucasfilms are the companies that make Star Wars and the TV show The Mandalorian. In February, they announced that Baby Yoda merchandise is coming soon. They gathered news reporters in New York City at a hotel. They showed off all the types of Baby Yoda toys. There were pajamas and pop sockets. The event showed off products from the two shows. One is the Mandalorian TV series. The other is the animated movie Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Many think these two Disney hits are the best of the Star Wars galaxy since Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Already right here, thinking back to my chart here where I can summarize often by talking or jotting, just after reading that first part of this passage, I'm already making connections. And it was saying how, if this was published last March, it says the previous holiday season, so that's like 2 holiday seasons ago, people wanted Baby Yoda toys as gifts, but they weren't available. And I just made a connection to this past holiday season, and so many of you have shared Baby Yoda items that you received as gifts and hold them up often in our Zooms. So I'm already making a connection that it makes sense that there now are a lot of toys where last holiday season there weren't. Next passage, Baby Yoda toys. Everyone was at the toy event for mostly one reason. They wanted to see Baby Yoda toys. Baby Yoda became famous in the fall. Strangely, the new toys had not made it into stores by then. Baby Yoda's name is actually just the child. The character has not yet been named on the show. Fans have been calling him Baby Yoda. Yoda is the legendary Jedi Master in Star Wars. The child became a hit in November. After the show aired, the child became famous through memes and GIFs. A popular one showed the child sipping soup. On February 20th, the child was in many forms of toys. There were Baby Yoda Legos and action figures. There were also backpacks, hats, and shirts. Socks and wallets were shown too. Famous scene. In the first episode of The Mandalorian, there is a famous scene. In it, Baby Yoda reaches out of his capsule. He is reaching toward the Mandalorian. It has the cutest little finger. You can now buy a framed picture of this scene. Baby Yoda's capsule is for sale too. It includes an animated Baby Yoda. The toy blinks and coos. A Build-A-Bear Yoda, Baby Yoda, will be available soon. It makes noises. If you squeeze its left hand, it makes baby noises. If you squeeze the right hand, the TV show theme song plays. Now our last paragraphs here. Heading, keeping the character a secret. Baby Yoda does not appear in The Mandalorian until the end of the first episode. The makers of the show wanted to keep the character a secret, but the show creators wanted to surprise fans with Baby Yoda. The only way to do that was to not have any toys made. Otherwise, people would see the toys online. The makers of the show asked Disney to wait to make toys. They wanted to wait until the first episode was released. This meant toys were not made in time for the holidays. Joanne McLaughlin works at Lucasfilm. She said some Disney parks will have Mandalorian themed stuff soon too. The Baby Yoda toys will be available to buy in March. So in this article, what was the main idea? And remember, think deeper than just Baby Yoda. That's the topic that's being covered in this article. What is the main idea of this article? Pause the video to discuss.